even starting in your mouth all the way down to intestine, have very specific enzymes that break down the sugar bonds, break down the protein bonds, and break down other types of bonds, fat connections. But yeah, good point. We have the specific enzymes. We don't have the specific enzyme for this. Okay, so we can't really break it down. Now, that's not to say it's not healthy. It's really healthy. Actually, the more fiber you have in your diet, the better. The healthier you are in terms of cholesterol, longevity, heart disease, a lot of these other things. So when people say, eat your vegetables, eat your greens, it's absolutely true. All right, I'm gonna keep going. Was there another question on that?
Well, she had a question first.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, just to simplify that, I'm trying to figure this out. So we cannot digest it, but it connects to like the bad things.
Yes, we'll go over more. Yep. So we can't break it down, we can't digest it, so we can chomp it into little parts, right? So it's like smaller pieces, but we still got big hunks of cellulose fibrils, okay? And as it goes through your system, it has a tendency of binding onto cholesterol and other fats, different things. And so also toxins, different yucky stuff, it helps to eliminate that stuff from the GI tract so it doesn't get absorbed into your bloodstream. It also keeps you regular, so you don't get constipated, you don't get bowel movement issues, keeps everything flowing smoothly. Now more research is even showing it actually lowers cholesterol. So the other night, it was really late, I probably shouldn't even tell you, it was like 2 in the morning, and I was working on lab stuff, and I'm constantly, I have 2 labs and 2 lectures every week, so I'm just going crazy. Actually, I know that's 2, 4, 6 lectures and 2 labs every week. I have as much as you guys do. And I was up, and I was like, ooh, I feel like I'm craving some like oats for whatever reason. I made a giant bowl of oatmeal and brown sugar and butter. It was so sugary and fatty and yummy and good. But it has a lot of fiber in it. So those whole non-cracked oats are loaded with complex carbohydrate starch and also cellulose, right? So they got the outer part, and it's fiber. It's a really good source of fiber. And fiber, if you read the oatmeal box, have you guys ever read the oatmeal box or look at certain cereals, they say lowers cholesterol? That's actually research that backs that. It absolutely does, and that's part of how it does it. These fibers, these cellulose materials help to lower blood cholesterol levels. All right, so cellulose, complex carb, but it's indigestible. Fiber we also call as roughage. Really important part of our diet, helps maintain healthy cardiovascular and digestive system. Clearing it out, cleaning it out, good for your blood, your heart, cholesterol, blood pressure, all that stuff. So eating enough fiber, aka cellulose, in the diet is very important. Now I know this stuff gets really interesting, so I don't want to keep answering questions on something. I want to keep moving. But we're going to talk more about this when we get to nutrition. Because nutrition, we go into actually eating these things and what happens and what types of foods we should eat and what types of foods we should not eat. So I'm going to get more back on this later. Fiber in the diet, there's 2 types, soluble versus insoluble. So we'll go a little bit here and then we'll talk more about this in nutrition next week on Monday. Soluble fiber dissolves in water, okay? So there's 2 types of the cellulose form. The soluble types of fiber dissolves in water, and that's the one that helps bind to the harmful chemicals, yucky toxin stuff that's in different foods that you take in the gut. It also binds to cholesterol, and we're going to look more at cholesterol. So it binds to actual cholesterol to help take these things out. We call it soluble fiber. Sorry. It's in many fruits. It's in oats, like I talked about oatmeal. My gluttonous giant thing of oatmeal the other night. It was just so good. Actually, the later you stay up, your hunger hormones coming from your stomach, one of them is called ghrelin, they go up at night. So you ever wonder, your stomach starts growling, it's 2 in the morning, you're like, what? I had dinner. What? You're normally sleeping at that time. Your circadian rhythm of ghrelin goes up in the day, makes you hungry, and then it goes up in the night, but you're sleeping during the night. So if you're up when you should be sleeping, ghrelin starts to spike and go up, and you're hungry. That's why you ever done that? Like eat at 1 or 2 or 3 in the morning, you're like, oh my God, I'm starving. I just can't keep going unless I get food. Oh, I've been known to make a burrito at like 2 in the morning. It's weird, I know. I don't recommend this, but if you have to sustain and you're starving, you gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah.
Oh, I was snapping.
Snap. Oh, I got snap. Oh, I'll get this snap. It's great. Okay. So many fruits, oats, all that stuff. Insoluble fiber. So soluble means it goes with water, it gets bound with water, stays in the gut, grabs the cholesterol and toxins and helps remove it from the body. Insoluble makes up the mass, the bulk of your fecal material. Okay? So the insoluble fiber, it doesn't really solubilize with water and all these other things that help bind stuff and take it out really it just stays where it's at, okay? And it's more the insoluble, harder version of the cellulose and the roughage. It actually makes up the majority of the mass and the weight of your poop, fecal material, okay? And this is one of the components that helps keep the GI tract healthy, keep the cardiovascular system and cholesterol levels and stuff healthy. This we see in bran, nuts, seeds, whole wheat foods, whole wheat, and legumes. Do you guys know what legumes are? Okay, so beans, yes, chickpeas, lentils, peas, black-eyed peas, all those neat little beans and peas, legumes, okay, for the most part, okay? So, bran muffins, with oats, that looks really yummy, with a walnut on top. Totally do that right now. Okay, so you got bran, you got oats, you got seeds, you got nuts, you got whole wheat, also a lot of fruits. This is where you find a lot of fiber. All these helps with lower cholesterol, especially the soluble fiber, okay? Keep you regular, especially the insoluble fiber, and reduces risk for cardiovascular, aka heart disease, diabetes, colon cancer, among other cancers. So, when you hear that, you should eat your vegetables, you should eat your fruits and vegetables, and get enough fiber. I used to, when I was younger, fiber, that's for old people. No, it's not. Fiber, you already should be doing that from a very young, early age, from when you're a child, because that helps set in motion your entire physiology for your whole life. You should all go out and have something fibrous right after this. I'm starving. Was there a question? Bless you. Okay. Yes, Bobby.
So the reason why the second one just goes through your body is because it can't mix with H2O, it doesn't break it down?
Exactly. It's not that it doesn't break down, it just doesn't really mix with water at all. It's totally insoluble. It behaves more like a fat, sort of. Kind of sequesters completely away from it, stays to itself. It's kind of the mass. It's the biggest massive part. All fiber is good though, right? All this stuff is good. Oats, fruits, nuts, seeds, legumes, all that stuff, make sure you get enough. The average American gets not nearly enough fiber. Like 40% of the fiber you're supposed to get on a daily percentage recommendation, the HDA recommendations. So question, why might a diet high in fiber also prevent a person from overeating? I just want you to think about this for a second.
It keeps you super full.
Yes, Lauren.
It just keeps you so full.
Keeps you
Every
full.
time I eat fiber, I don't know why, 4 hours goes by.
That's right.
I'm not hungry.
That's right, and that's why my thing of oatmeal, I woke up the next day, I wasn't even hungry. I'm like, okay, I'll just get my iced coffee and go. I'm good. It adds a feeling of satiety. Okay, satiety means fullness. S-A-T-I-E-T-Y. Satiety, this is important because it also helps control hunger and appetite. This is the sense of fullness. That means you're not hungry. I'm good, I'm not hungry. That's the opposite of what I am right now. Okay? My stomach is growling actually right now, making lots of ghrelin and gurgling and moving and contracting. Yes?
What if you only get what if you only get soluble fibers and not insoluble or vice versa?
You want to get both. And in most things, a lot of these things you will get both in a lot of different fibers. But that is a good point. You do want to have both because they both have different health benefits and they contribute to GI and cardiovascular health. Okay, so it's good to have both. All right, and you answered, Lauren answered, it gives fullness. It takes up more room. It makes it more full and expanded in the stomach and the GI tract when it goes down. Takes longer, gives a feeling of fullness. So you don't overeat. Basically, you're like, okay, cool, I'm full with that big bowl. I'm good, I'm done. Okay. So, animal, you guys are all switching papers. What time is it? I don't know what time. 2 minutes? Okay, I'll just wrap it up and we'll end right here. Animal storage polysaccharides. We were at plant, now we're at animal. So animal polysaccharides are things like glycogen. This is the main one. And it's basically glucose monomers all bonded together, okay? And it actually is, they're branched and they're all bonded together in these giant glucose polymers. So the polymers made of individual glucose. It's a way that animals, like us, humans, we store sugar for later. You have certain cells in your body, specifically your liver and your muscle, that has big glycogen storages. That means a big storage of complex carbohydrates, glycogen, that you can use for later. You can break down the glucose for later. We find it in muscle and we find it in liver. Those are two of the most common sites. It's more branched and it packs in more tightly than the plant storage polysaccharides. It's highly branched and you can really pack it in there and eliminate excess water, pack it nice and tight. Your liver cells, your muscle cells can store this. So, when you're fasting, it's easily broken down. So I haven't eaten in many hours. My liver and my muscles are actually chopping down the glycogen as we speak. The glucose is freed up and it enters the blood. So that I have glucose in my blood. So I have fuel that I can keep going even while I'm fasting, right? Because my body has glycogen that it can use. So it's broken down into individual glucose molecules when you need that fuel to keep going. So when you fast, that's what's happening. It's carried in the blood to your tissues and cells so they do not starve. So in us, in other animals, in cows, in chickens, in everything, all vertebrates, they store glycogen in their liver and in their muscles as this storage polysaccharide, so they can break it down. So you also get it from animal sources as well, and you store it in your own bodies. I think I'll end right here. The reason I said Lucia had the fattest cheeks you've ever seen. She's just my little cutie Lola. Now she's turning 14, but this is when she was 1. And I just got the shot right when she was looking at me. We were eating fatty, sugary stuff at Starbucks, and her fat little cheeks. Lipids or fats, we're going to get into lipids next time. And we'll also go into proteins and DNA. So make sure you read those sections and you looked over those lecture slides when you come to class on Friday. Oh, one update I was going to say. I wrote it here, but I forgot to say it. Our very first lab is tomorrow. I'm very excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. Poking, prodding, tests, all kinds of stuff. Dress very comfortable. Okay, comfy. You don't have to wear closed-toed shoes, but it's more important that you're just very comfortable because we're going to do lots of tests and measurements and stuff. You don't have to wear long sleeves. No. Anything come take off leggings. Totally fine. Have fun at work. I will see you guys later. See you later. Bye. Have a good rest of your Wednesday. Okay, I'll see you in lab. Yeah. All right. I really hope this works. Now my arm's going out.